In today's episode of Spirit of Innovation, we explore California propositions for November's elections.
Prop 26 is sponsored by, written by California tribes. That's a stark difference compared to Prop 27, which is written and funded by entirely out-of-state online gambling corporations.
Our segment on special needs trusts and ABLE accounts shows how families plan for the future without risk.
I found that the idea of losing any government benefits is a big concern for families, so making sure that we protect any benefits that they receive is very important.
Our guest host for this episode is Celeste Ducharme, JDS Creative Academy Board of Directors Vice President, businesswoman, and best-selling author. Celeste currently serves as Vice President, Self-Storage Division at Ranch RV and Self-Storage. She's also co-authored the #1 international bestseller, Turn Possibilities into Realities, and her newest book, The Journey is Yours to Take, Choose to Move Through Frazzled to Fabulous. And you'll soon see her in the documentary, Beyond the Game. Stay with us as Celeste and the Spirit of Innovation team bring you the need to know, did you know, and good to know, along with local community news and information.
Thank you for joining us. I'm honored to be guest hosting August Spirit of Innovation, which also happens to be the first episode of the show's 5th season. Isn't that awesome? I enjoy giving back to my community, and serving on the board of JDS Creative Academy allows me to do just that. And now I have the opportunity to help share news and information that matters to all of us. Elections are coming up in November, which will be here before you know it. Californians are faced with an array of propositions every election cycle, many of which can be confusing and sometimes require research to fully understand. Have you wondered why Californians are asked to vote on these complex issues? In today's Did You Know? We have the answer. California propositions have been on our ballot since the beginning of the 20th century. They're a part of an innovative process that's been described as the most powerful in the world. The proposition system was established by Hiram Johnson, who ran for California governor in 1910 on a platform based on opposition to special interests. He won, and in a special election held on October 10th, 1911, California became the 10th state to adopt a ballot initiative process. Johnson didn't want the state legislators to have the ability to change the past referendums, even if they were just simple improvements. So he made sure that any changes would need to go back through the process for a vote by the people. That's why you see sometimes propositions that look similar to the ones on previous elections. In November, voters are going to have 7 propositions to vote on. Spirit of Innovation invited Adam Ruiz, Government Affairs Director of the Southwest California Legislative Council, to explain the propositions and the council's vote recommendation as they relate to small businesses. But remember, it's your vote that counts here at Spirit. It's about sharing information and encouraging you to have your voice heard through your vote. Over to you, Adam.
Thank you, Celeste. The Southwest California Legislative Council is a chamber coalition focusing on sustainable job growth and advocacy for our region. Our positions on the current referendums are based on our strategic initiatives and what we believe is best for the business community in our area. Prop 30 raises income taxes by 1.75% for individuals making over $2 million a year to fund programs that encourage people to switch over to zero-emission vehicles. Those who favor the proposition argue that it addresses air pollution as a serious climate issue. The Legislative Council opposes Prop 30 since we believe new taxes drive away job creators and that zero-emission vehicles are not the solution to climate challenges. Prop 29 calls for new restrictions on dialysis clinics, including a requirement that a doctor, nurse practitioner, or physician assistant be on site during all treatment hours. If this proposition sounds familiar, you're right. The union supporting this measure has tried to pass dialysis center regulations twice before. The Legislative Council opposes Prop 29 because we believe it will increase the cost of dialysis. Prop 28 provides extra school funding for arts and music program and requires the state to set aside a share of its revenue, approximately $800 million to $1 billion a year, to go to arts education classes, with a large portion of this money being reserved for low-income schools. The Legislative Council supports Prop 28 as we believe there is a desperate need for music and art programs. Additionally, there could be opportunities for new jobs as these programs expand. California's current Reproductive Privacy Act states that every individual possesses a fundamental right to privacy regarding their own reproductive decisions, and that the state cannot deny an individual's right to an abortion. The passing of Proposition 1 will specifically enshrine the right to abortion and contraception into the state constitution. Those in favor of the amendment say it's needed to protect reproductive rights. Opponents are concerned that it doesn't include explicit restrictions on late-term abortions. In 2020, Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill, SB 793, banning the sale of all flavored tobacco products. Prop 31 seeks to overturn SB 793. So what that means is a yes vote will ban the sale of flavored tobacco products, while a no vote will keep the sale of flavored tobacco legal in California. And finally, Props 26 and 27 are two initiatives that support legalized gambling. Jacob Mejia, the Public Affairs Director for Pechanga Development Corporation, is here to explain what they're about. Jacob, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Would you be able to explain to us a little bit about what Proposition 26 is all about?
Happy to. Prop 26 is really simple. It just allows additional games at tribal casinos, such as craps and roulette, and in-person sports wagering. It also allows in-person sports wagering at 4 licensed horse race tracks throughout the state. It's pretty straightforward. Tribes support this because it allows them to add another amenity to their mix of games that they already offer. Number one. Number two, this is going to result in more jobs being created, more economic impact to surrounding communities, and I think here in Southwest Riverside County, folks have seen the thousands of jobs that have been created by tribal gaming. In the view of the tribes and the broad coalition that is in support of Prop 26, this is the safest, most responsible way to authorize sports wagering in California.
Now, what would happen if it doesn't pass?
So, first off, under Prop 26, the nonpartisan legislative analyst anticipates or projects that tens of millions of dollars in new revenue will be raised. Those monies would not materialize for programs like wildfire prevention, public safety, public education, etc. Second, tribal leaders have committed that as part of the agreements that they will reach with the state to allow sports wagering, they will basically be doubling the amount of revenues that go to non-gaming and limited gaming tribes. If 26 did not pass, those revenues for non-gaming tribes and for the state would be jeopardized.
Now, jumping over to Prop 27, can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Prop 27 is a deceptive measure that is sponsored, written, and 100% sponsored by out-of-state online gambling corporations. What they're trying to do with Prop 27 is essentially unleash the biggest expansion of online gambling in U.S. history, turning every cell phone, every laptop, every gaming console, every tablet into a gambling device. It's deceptive, the manner in which these gambling corporations have tried to sell the measure to the voters, trying to pitch it as a solution to homelessness, because if it were a function of money, the problem would have already been solved, given the billions of dollars that the state has spent, and the problem's only gotten worse. So that's first. Second, it harms tribal self-sufficiency. These companies only need to partner with one tribe. It's effectively a race to the bottom. 90% of the revenues flow out of state, okay? 8.5% would be left over for homelessness, and less than 2%, 1.5% for the tribes. If it were even to materialize, I say that because these guys that wrote the measure wrote for themselves some really big loopholes that allow massive tax deductions from their burden.
Now, what would happen if Prop 26 and Prop 27 both get enough yes votes to pass?
I've quipped that a lot of lawyers are going to make a lot of money. And the reason being is because they effectively try to put in place 2 separate regulatory regimes. Tribal gaming is regulated at 3 levels, the tribal, state, and federal level. And they're trying to marry up an existing regulatory framework with this new regulatory framework for online gaming effectively. And so we just think that they are in conflict and inevitably will ensue in lawsuits.
You've broken it down very simple for us. I appreciate you taking the time to come in and explain a little bit more about Prop 26 and Prop 27.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Adam and Jacob, for sharing information on these propositions. These are our guests' personal views and not the opinions of Spirit of Innovation. Remember, it's your vote that counts. California propositions are complex, and we invite you to dig deeper and learn more about these issues. Head to our website where we'll provide helpful links to get you on your way. Those with disabilities and their caregivers are often concerned about ensuring a financially secure future. Fortunately, there are special saving programs in place to help. Spirit of Innovation takes a look at two of these programs and how they can help set up those we care about for success.
Many parents and caregivers of those with disabilities want to save for the future, but don't know the best way to go about it.
I found that the idea of losing any government benefits is a big concern for families, so making sure that we protect any benefits that they receive is very important.
A special needs trust is a powerful tool that helps alleviate those concerns.
It is designed to protect those with special needs who are receiving government benefits, whether it be SSI or Medi-Cal, to preserve those benefits while also receiving an inheritance. A lot of times with those benefits, if you have too much in assets, you don't receive those benefits anymore. Well, this is one way to have your cake and eat it too. You can have those benefits as well as receive an inheritance. If it's held within the special needs trust, it protects both.
Trusts can also be set up when a person with special needs has a large amount of their own assets.
We see this happen a lot of times when there's been an injury, maybe a car accident, and now they're going to receive proceeds from that car accident. A few very important things to know when setting up a special needs trust is, one, make sure you select the right trustee. The trustee's really responsible for protecting the money, protecting the trust, and distributing assets to someone with special needs without jeopardizing any government benefits they're receiving. Another thing to make sure we plan for is what are the needs of that special needs beneficiary going to be in the future? Housing needs, clothing needs, food needs, care needs, making sure we have a plan for that so that we can essentially have someone who can create a budget and stick within that budget to make sure they have what they need for their lifetime.
Alternatively, special savings and investing accounts, called ABLE accounts, do not require a trustee to administer funds.
ABLE accounts were made possible as a result of the passage of the Achieving a Better Life Experience Act, otherwise known as the ABLE Act, in 2014. And what's special about them is that by saving and investing in these ABLE accounts, the individual who is disabled is not putting valuable public benefits at risk as a result of having these savings in their name. There are a number of individuals who can contribute to the account and help it to grow in value. These include the account owner, beneficiary, that's the individual for whom the account has been established. Also, friends of that individual, family members, and even employers.
Money in ABLE accounts is not taxed as long as it's used for disability-related expenses.
So this could be housing and basic living expenses, it could be education, it could be transportation to appointments, or a modified vehicle. It could also be personal support services, things like assistive technology, and even fees and expenses to help the individual with financial planning or other professional services. What's slightly different about an ABLE account as compared to a special needs trust account is that a maximum of $16,000 a year can be contributed to an ABLE account. Special needs trust accounts, however, can have much higher balances. So for that reason, it's good to compare and contrast both and to consider perhaps having both in place to complement each other.
Whether it's a special needs trust, an ABLE account, or another savings program, it's important to research what's best for each individual situation.
I don't think that people with special needs or their caregivers necessarily know all of the financial programs that are available to them. It really takes an advisor, someone who can give advice and guide in the right direction of what needs to be done to really help the special needs person, their family, their caregivers to understand what is available and help them make the right decisions.
You can find out more about these financial savings programs on our website. Now it's time for our Good to Know, where we talk about community events, heartwarming news, and general good to know topics and information. Here are JDS Creative Academy intern Aaron Perris and SOI crew member Tyler Perrone to get us started.
Thank you, Celeste. If you want to help out in the community, there are some great volunteer opportunities all over Riverside County. Court-appointed special advocates, otherwise known as CASA, is looking for volunteers to help foster children through a confusing and often scary time. With just 10 to 15 hours a month, you can make a real difference in their lives. Service dogs are trained and raised at an early age to hone their skills. But did you know that volunteers can train these little pups? That's right. Canine Support Teams is looking for volunteers to train and raise them to become future service dogs. It will require a lot of commitment, labor, resources, and love. Salis Hospice is looking for individuals who love sewing and want to share their talent by sewing pillows to help families heal after losing a loved one. Salis Hospice will provide materials and the background of the person they lost so that a one-of-a-kind pillow can be made. Your creation may help bring a family joy and ease the pain of the loss. COVID-19 has caused many hardships for people around Riverside County. If you or a family member needs help paying utility bills, contact Community Action Partnership, who is there to help.
Labor Day is Monday, September 5th. This annual holiday celebrates the achievements of American workers and was established in 1882 when labor activists pushed for a federal holiday to recognize worker contributions. Nowadays, there are many ways to celebrate in the community. Kick off Labor Day weekend with the Inland Empire Pride Festival in downtown Riverside on Sunday, September 4th from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Then on Monday, head over to the Norco Labor Day Parade starting on 6th Street at 10 a.m. Maybe you need a getaway. Plan a camping trip for Labor Day weekend at Temecula's Vail Lake, where you can cool in the pool, hike an all-new trail, and barbecue all day. Women are back to business at this year's Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce Women in Business Expo and Conference, held at Pechanga Resort Casino on September 8th. This yearly event brings the region together in support of women in business. Our executive producer Diane Strand is co-emceeing and introducing a great lineup of speakers. Join in, tickets are still available.
The Railroad Swap Meet chugs along in the Southern California Railway Museum in Perris on September 10th. Not only will you be able to browse what people have to offer, but you can also learn about the history of railroads in Southern California. If your kids love trains, this event is a perfect fit. El Grito gatherings celebrate Mexico's battle for independence. You can join in at the Moreno Valley Civic Center on September 15th.
One of Temecula's most popular events, the Temecula Art and Street Painting Festival, arrives once again in Old Town September 16th and 17th. The event features many different vendors and activities such as chalk murals, Cartoon Palooza, Temecula's own mini-con, and an art and cosplay contest. Be sure to check it out. If you enjoy live mariachi, then head down to Marno O'Brien Park in Wildomar for a mariachi night on September 18th. No reservation is needed. Just head into the park and look for people having a good time. While you're out and about, be aware of upcoming freeway closures and slowdowns on the I-15 between Winchester Road and the I-15 to 215 split. In September, road crews will be moving Edison lines and completely closing the I-15 freeway as they prepare for Phase 2 of the French Valley project. Phase 1 was completed a few years ago and provides relief to traffic heading southbound. Phase 2 involves the construction of separate traffic feeder lanes running northbound from Winchester Road, which keeps cars from having to merge until after the split. The City of Temecula's website has more information on this major construction project.
People enjoy giving and receiving random acts of kindness. But did you know an organization has made an official day out of it? SOI correspondent Karina Corona chatted with the founder of the Random Acts of Kindness Alliance and found out how they're making a difference in the community.
Random Acts of Kindness Alliance was founded by Temecula realtor Sean Swanson as a way to give back to the community.
I think a random act of kindness is anything nice you can do for somebody else without them expecting it or knowing you're going to even do it.
Why was Random Acts of Kindness Alliance created?
Back in 2013, I was looking for something, a Christmas party to host for the real estate company that I own. And I didn't want to do just a traditional party. I wanted to do something a little more impactful to help give back to our community. So I came up with the idea of doing a day of service, or what I call a give back day. And we had about 80 people show up. So on the day, we always hold it on the second Saturday in December. We all come together. I break everybody up into groups, and each group has a team leader, and each group goes and does a service project out in the community. They'll have a list of items that they need to buy for either individuals, organizations, or items that nonprofits need.
How do you choose who you help, and is it a surprise to them?
Sometimes the people kind of come into my path, and I don't, they find me more than I find them, but everything is typically a surprise. Last year we did buy Christmas presents for all the kids that are a part of the special needs program with Oak Grove. We typically always like to do things to help children. We also like to do things to help the veterans. I have a real love for animals, so we always have an animal component to it. So this year for our 10th one on December 10th, 2022, we haven't narrowed down exactly who we're gonna pick, but it will always be some kind of charity that has to do with children, because we do believe in mentoring children and taking care of kids.
Random Acts of Kindness Day has inspired Sean to help others all year long.
Anytime there is a group in need or an individual in need, they may have heard about us and they'll reach out to us for individual needs, or we may see something that's out in the community.
How can people become a part of Random Acts of Kindness Day?
All you have to do is go to Eventbrite. Our event is public. All you have to do is sign up, and you come and join us on that day.
Thank you, Sean, for your time and sharing your story about Random Acts of Kindness Alliance.
You're so welcome. I'm so glad I got to introduce it to you, and maybe this year you can join us.
Thank you, Karina. If you want to get involved with this year's Random Acts of Kindness Day, we have their Eventbrite link on our website. Michelle's Place Cancer Resource Center gives so much to the cancer community, providing hope, free resources, and much more. Inspired by their work, JDS Creative Academy wanted to give back through the gift of creativity.
The founders of JDS Creative Academy believe that the arts make a difference, which is why Art in a Box was created, to provide Michelle's Place the essential materials and supplies needed for their free creative workshops. These workshops offer a therapeutic outlet for cancer patients to express themselves artistically.
Gina was a client before she was a volunteer, before she was staff. Now she's our volunteer coordinator.
My first class doing here was the art class, the expressive art class. So.
Awesome. I love it. I know.
Rather than just donate art supplies, the creative minds at JDS came together to create a unique artistic experience for workshop students. With 8 weeks of curriculum, students have the opportunity to work on a variety of projects, all of which were designed to induce a feeling of peace and calm. Some activities included in the art box are scrapbooking, flower pressing, tile, mosaics, origami, paint by number, and more. The kit includes manuals for instructors to use, as well as student manuals to help in the creation of the projects. In addition to the physical manuals, instructors and students can go online for visual demonstrations.
That's a beautiful gift, because we wanted to do it. Obviously, it's a lot. We didn't know where to begin, so now you've taken care of that for us, so thank you so much. It's a great gift.
So cool.
Lessons can be reused as many times as needed, making Art in a Box a gift that keeps on giving.
The launch of Art in the Box is just the beginning of JDS Creative Academy's Arts Across California campaign. The goal is to provide their unique hands-on curriculum to schools, after-school programs, and other nonprofits throughout the state. Be sure to follow the hashtag JDSFamily for updates about this inspiring campaign. Participants in the JDS Creative Academy's paid internship program were also busy these past few months. They enjoyed the opportunity to work at Storm Stadium, run tech backstage for our musical theater program, and assist with summer camps. We're so proud of the work they do. Do you want to join us here? Be a part of the hashtag JDSFamily. There are many opportunities to do just that. Check out our upcoming visual, performing, and digital arts classes.
It's that time of year again. We are back and scarier than ever. Oh. Do you want to be part of the haunt? Do you want to make sets, props, and special effects makeup? How about design, build, and terrorize for our annual Haunted Studio and fundraiser? Enroll now to our Haunted Studio class, starting September 28th.
If you're an actor searching for an agent or manager, you can learn all the ins and outs of obtaining representation at the JDS Actor Studio Industry Showcase, taught by the authors of best-selling book, Show Business, How to Break into the Industry as an Actor. Take a look.
Are you ready to break into the entertainment industry? If so, enroll now in JDS Actor Studio's acclaimed industry showcase. I'm Master Acting Coach Scott Strand, and with my partner, Executive Producer Diane Strand, we will teach you the ins and outs of the entertainment industry based on our best-selling book, Show Business, Breaking into the Industry as an Actor. JDS Actors Studio Industry Showcase begins September 7th. Enroll now.
Well, that concludes this month's episode. Thank you for watching Spirit of Innovation. Don't miss the SOI training crew on radio station 102.5 The Vine 7 days a week with the JDS Creative Academy Community Spotlight. You can also catch the SOI crew live streaming episode of SOI Update on YouTube and co-hosting our new podcast, SOI Talk, which you can find on 101.3 KATY Radio. I had so much fun guest hosting. I hope I can come back and do this again. Yes! Our Spirit of Innovation episode drops on September 25th with a new special guest host. Who will it be? Tune in next month to find out. Until then, SOI out!